All right, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back in. We're gonna make this episode again short and sweet. I know you got things to do. I got things to do. So let's get this moving. This is Peyton 3.0. Okay, and this right here is The Truth Is, a series where I really tell it like it is, where I really talk about some things that are not everyday conversations and the normals of society and whatnot. Some of the harder things to hear and to deal with. So if you like what you hear today, please the like button and maybe subscribe. So maybe share the truth with your friends. All right. This today's episode is called, if you can see in the picture what's going on here, she thinks I want to act like she is the person that has the lease, and this is the roommate that's renting from the person that has the lease, or maybe she owns the house. She's trying to rent to own. She's trying to mortgage to own the house, and she's frustrated because she's never really had a roommate before, or whatever. But now she's getting the gist of how the roommate moves and works, and maybe the roommate's a little bit messy, and she's frustrated with the roommate, and she thinks that the way to get the roommate to change her behavior is by basically barking at them, screaming at them, being condescending or whatever attitude, which usually doesn't really get people to do what you want them to do, unless like you're throwing money in their face. Basically, they're running a 9 to 5 job, they got to pay the bills, so they deal with the bullshit until they can't take it anymore. But in the end, it just really doesn't work out in those kind of ways. There's a way that you have to speak to people to get the people to make changes and move. Now, what did I say the episode was? What did I say this episode was called? You have the wrong mindset when it comes to having roommates, and you pay the mortgage. Now, why did I say that? Here's the thing. There are roommates that are smart. There are roommates that are pretty much dumb. I don't say dumb, ignorance. They don't know how to move in the jiggy jungle of roommates, or whatever. And their roommates are in the middle. Either way, the point is, if you've like never had a room situation, all of a sudden an opportunity comes along for you to, and you like are trying to, you're the process of trying to mortgage to own a house or whatever, and a lot of people are doing, especially right now, in the times that we find ourselves in. A lot of people are out there who are either most likely mortgaging to own their houses within 30 years. Um, and they're falling on hard times and trouble. Uh, they don't make as much money, and things are getting harder, and maybe they've been laid off from a job or whatever, or it's just they're not getting as many hours or something. They're kind of drowning in their own debt. So this opportunity comes along where they found themselves like, they never considered in taking in a roommate before, but now they are. And so they get their first roommate or their first housemate, right? And they've never done this before, and they don't even understand like that they should have like a legal contract of some sort with these people, with anybody, a lease, a rental agreement, so on. Okay, they don't understand that, so they don't have one. They're either just letting somebody Venmo them or paying them by cash or check, right? And so, with that being said, complications start to happen because these people are not really alike. They might not exactly have the same exact backgrounds. Their habits are different. And the person that is mortgaging the house, that's used to things being a certain way, and you as a roommate come along, and you're a certain way, and then that clashes, and then of course they become angry and they start barking at you, right? They start shouting at you about some things and whatnot. And as the house, not owner, because you don't own the house, because most of you are trying to mortgage the house to own it over 30 years. Uh, as the person that is on the whatever, I forget what it's, the lease with the bank or whatever you sign, when you put down the 20% principal for the house, as the person mortgaging the house to own it, and you're paying this mortgage plus interest to the bank every month, you have to be a little more self-aware of not just yourself but others, and think how effective you can be when it comes to influencing others to take on what you would consider better habits, because it's not necessarily that it's better habits that the roommate needs to have. It's just the way that you like things, because you're the house owner. You're not the house owner. You're the person mortgaging to own the house. Okay, over 30 years. So with that being said, you have to think about, okay, well, I got this new situation. I'm used to being like the boss and the house and blah blah blah. And the person, they're adults or whatever. You can't really treat adults like children. You know, and so you come across these situations where they seem to be happening over and over again, and your way of approaching these new roommates is not effective, right? Because really roaring at somebody is, especially when they're the one paying you money to live to live there. It's different when somebody's paying you money, and then you're barking at them, because in a way it's almost like they're kind of your boss in that other way. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're your boss, obviously not, but they're still paying you money to live somewhere. It's as if your boss is paying you a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a reverse role for them. They go to work, most likely they go to work for a paycheck, but then they're also paying you to live there. So it's a different mindset that people go into. And when you treat people like you're the one mortgaging the house, you're the boss, whatever, when they're not helping you to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, get certain things that you couldn't get before by yourself, by paying a monthly fee, maybe in some situations they're helping you pay utilities. There's a certain way that you now have to approach these people than to come at them like you're the boss, you're the owner, right? When you're only actually mortgaging a house, and you're mortgaging that you don't even own. You know, first of all. Um, Secondly, is you got to pay interest on this mortgage, right? You got to pay over time, and the person renting doesn't have to pay any interest, right? The person renting, see, you're tied down to this house, right? For the most part. Now you could obviously move and sell the house, but it takes so much to wrap up and sell the house, while the person who's renting can just get up and leave. Because number one, you didn't have them sign a lease, nothing. You didn't have them sign anything if it's just a verbal agreement. So in that situation, that person can just get up and leave and find somewhere else to go, like that, much easier than you trying to sell the house and go somewhere else. So you get what I'm saying? You see, the part they think everybody thinks, a lot of people think that the person who is ho- who is trying to own the house is in a better position than the renter. But honestly, let's think about it. The person that is renting, especially in this economy, is in a lot better position than the person who is trying to mortgage a house to own it over 30 years. Okay? So it's about changing your approach when it comes to talking to adult people who you're not used to the situation, but you have to be self-aware of yourself first of all in order for you to be able to change your action and how you approach um, other people living within the household or the apartment or whatever, so that you could be more effective and successful at getting things to run in the way that you want them. But that's just one way to go about things. Really, what the ultimate goal should be is not getting people in the household to bend to your will, as selfish as that really is. We tend to be selfish people as human animals. It's in our nature, really. Um, it's honing in that. It's honing it in, like you're honing in a craft, right? And it's saying, okay, we can't think about how we're used to things being. We got to get out of our own way. We got to get out of our own, crap way of thinking. And we have to say, okay, how do we come to a compromise? Right? Let's compromise. Let's talk about, what it is that we can agree upon and whatnot, and some things that you're used to as the person that's mortgaging the house, you have to be willing to let some things go, right? You do have to be able to do that, and that takes growth. That takes growth. Um, and the person who is also living and helping you to pay the mortgage and the rent, the mortgage and the bills or whatever, whatnot, by paying this monthly, whatever. They're paying some utilities too. I don't know. It's to everybody. It's each your own. But they're also willing to adapt and to be agreeable and to compromise and to change some of their habits as well. But it can't really just be one person's way, because it just never ends up. It never ends up in the way that's going to be effective for a peaceful household, right? And it's getting to know each other that's really going to be what makes this thing get work even faster, right? Because if this is a person, this is somebody that you have not grown up with, you've not been friends with, but you met them through whatever means you met them, basically, and they became your roommate, So these are some of the things that the person trying to mortgage the house to own it and the person that it's renting has to think about. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Let's have a discussion. My name is Peyton 3.0. If you like this, hit the like button. All of that. Blah blah blah. Now, if you are into any kind of singing and music and just a fun time like that, sessionslive.com. I'll leave it a link in the description below, and I'll also have it at the end on the social media card that'll show up at the end. That will show up at the end of this. So I had to think for a minute. Anyway, most of the social medias on this card at the end will be for my electronic dance music audience. Hence, the reason you hear dubstep in the background. Yes. But there are, for the general audience, there are two social medias for you. One being sessionslive.com with my unique URL, so you can get to my page, press follow, get you an avatar, get you a screen name, your email, whatnot. And then we have, of course, this lovely channel right here. So I'll see you in the next The Truth Is. Bye-bye. Making flows real low. Hard bro, just need to smoke. Call the toe, come slow. So late, work was my fate. Operate down, can't be found. Life over, watch us over. Smile, 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 smile.